race to a coronavirus vaccine may soon be over as drug makers from the United States and Germany announced their vaccine is 90% effective in preventing COVID-19. Pfizer and BioNTech announced Monday, November 9, a vaccine they are jointly developing provides evidence of 90% efficacy in the ongoing Phase 3 trials. According to their preliminary findings, protection in patients is achieved 7 days after the second of 2 doses and 28 days after the first. The companies say they expect to supply up to 50 million vaccine doses globally in 2020 and up to 1.3 billion doses in 2021. Philippine Ambassador to the United States Jose Manuel Romualdez says Pfizer will ensure a supply for the Philippines after the vaccine is approved for distribution. But the Philippines may have to wait a little longer as Pfizer is prioritizing the United States for vaccine production this year. United States President-elect Joe Biden forges ahead with his promise to prioritize the COVID-19 pandemic by naming his own coronavirus team. His task force members range from immunologists and epidemiologists to biodefense experts and leading public health officials.
And we'll listen and work in cooperation with governors and local leaders of both parties who are fighting this virus in their communities this very day. Today, that work begins.
Biden also implores Americans to wear a mask, something outgoing President Donald Trump previously mocked.
A mask is not a political statement, but it is a good way to start pulling the country together.
Trump, who lost his bid to the White House, refuses to concede election defeat by insisting the election was stolen from him. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany tells reporters at a press conference this election is not over, far from it. University councils across the University of the Philippines system canceled the UP College Admission Test or UPCAT for first-year students of academic year 2021 to 2022 due to the coronavirus pandemic. The university makes the announcement Tuesday, November 10, on its website. According to the memo dated October 30, the 8 constituent universities unanimously voted not to administer UPCAT in light of logistical issues in the paper and pencil testing of about 100,000 17-year-old applicants. The UPCAT 2021 is supposed to be administered in the third quarter of 2020. UP finds it unfeasible to deploy 1,600 personnel to administer the exams across the country given the pandemic. Majority of the council members also think an online UPCAT is not feasible since the length and variety of exam items require a consistently strong internet connection. The UP Board of Regents instructs the admissions office to come up with a modified admission system specific to the next academic year by February 2021. Malacañang denies involvement in Solicitor General Jose Calida's move to file a motion for inhibition against Supreme Court Associate Justice Marvic Leonen from the vice presidential electoral protest case.
He is the statutory counsel for the government, and as statutory counsel, he has an interest in knowing who legally won in the vice presidential election, or we have an interest as a nation to find out if there is merit in fact in that election protest.
Calida files the motion Monday, November 9, the same day Bongbong Marcos files his. Both of them accuse Leonen of personal bias against the Marcos family. Presidential spokesman Harry Roque says President Rodrigo Duterte does not micromanage and allows his cabinet to give attention and act on things that are under their agency. He adds there was nothing unusual with the Solicitor General's move. Calida campaigned for the Duterte-Marcos tandem during the 2016 elections. The Philippine economy contracts at a slower rate of 11.5% in the third quarter of 2020. Although negative, the Philippines' gross domestic product or GDP growth is an improvement from the 16.9% dip in the second quarter, the worst slump on record. The agriculture industry posted the highest growth at 1.2%, while industry and services both recorded contractions of 17.2% and 10.6%. The recession in the third quarter comes as no surprise, since the government's economic team, as well as analysts and credit rating agencies, expected negative growth. But the double-digit dip is worse than peers in the Southeast Asian region. Singapore's economy contracted by 7%, while Indonesia by 3.49%. The economy contracted by an average of 10% in the first 3 quarters, beyond the government's target of a drop of 4.5% to 6.6% for 2020. National statistician Dennis Mapa says the government's target is no longer feasible. Despite this, the economic team is optimistic that the worst is over for the country. Acting Socio-Economic Secretary Carl Chua says the recent numbers show, quote, the economy is on the mend. A viral video showing the Pornhub logo appearing during CNN's live coverage of the 2020 US elections is false. The video circulating on Twitter and Facebook shows CNN's John King swiping the Pornhub logo away on a touchscreen. King was reporting on votes coming in from Pennsylvania. King denies the video was real on Twitter. Journalist Boris Karlamov also tweeted the original version of the video, where King can be seen removing a black graphic in order to properly show a map of Allegheny County.